Hi, and welcome to the more 5-minute St. Louis real estate market update for July 2019. I am Dennis Norman, one of the broker owners at More Realtors, and if you'll give me about 5 minutes of your time, I'll bring you up to speed on what's happening in the St. Louis real estate market. However, before I get started, though, let me remind you that we are not just the source for St. Louis home prices, sales, and market data. We're also one of St. Louis's premier real estate companies, and we have some of St. Louis's best and most professional agents ready to help you. Also, before I get started, I'd like to share with you the opportunity to get St. Louis's best real estate search app. That's right, even better than Zillow. You can go to stlhomesearchapp.com, stlhomesearchapp.com. Honestly, I like Zillow's app. What makes this one better? A couple things. One, it's connected to your account on stlouisrealestatesearch.com and connected to agents right here in St. Louis, as well as the fact that on the search results and the homes it shows you, it will only show you active listings. It won't disappoint you by showing you listings that already have contracts on them. All right, let's get started here. Showing you a couple more screens there to the app. All right, let's get started. The first chart here is for the whole St. Louis metro area as a whole, which is going to include 8 counties on the Illinois side of the river, as well as 9 counties on the Missouri side of the Mississippi. So this is a big overview of the market. This is a 25-month chart, so you can we can see the seasonality of it, but see the last couple of years. And you can see just how affected by the seasons the market is. The red line and the green lines on here represent the median listing prices and selling prices, and it's the typical peak in the spring and summer months, and then falls in the winter months, and then repeats the cycle again. And if the trend is up, then the valleys that it hits are always a little higher than the prior winter, and the peaks in the spring are always a little higher than the prior one. But just looking at a single month here, you can see if we look all the way to the right, for June, the median sales price of the homes that sold in June was $225. Happens to be the same as the median list price, and there were 3,154 sales. And you can see if we go back and just compare that to a year ago, you can see the difference in price. Selling price there, $205. There were more home sales in June of last year, $3,271. And if we go back yet one more year to 17. You'll see the median price at that time was $195, and again there were more home sales, 3,377. So actually the highest in June 2017. All still good numbers though. Now here's something that is a good way to look at it. This is a year-to-date chart, and I might point out here, all these charts I'm showing you here are. This is from proprietary software that we've developed at More Realtors. We are so serious about the data and the information. There's a lot of information out there today. You're probably, if you're a buyer or seller and investor, you're probably somewhat overwhelmed because there's just a plethora of data and information. Unfortunately, a lot of it's not necessarily accurate data or current data or relevant data. So we have spent a lot of time, money, and effort to develop proprietary software that produces, that first off obtains all the data from the St. Louis area multi-list that the realtors use, so the most accurate source of the data, the MLS, but that we compile this and prepare it and present it in a way to make it easy for our agents to stay on top of the market, as well as easy for our agents to help their clients and you, the consumer, to stay up to date on the market, as well as understand what's going on with prices and sales, so you can make good decisions. So this year-to-date chart, something you won't see anywhere else, you can see that the year-to-date home sales, this would be through the end of June, through our last full month for this year. I might add too, this is for the 5-county area, which would be the core market of the St. Louis area on the Missouri side of the river. So the city of St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Jefferson County, and Franklin County. And so year to date for that market, been 12,818 sales. If we go back a year ago, same time, there were 13,389 and so forth. You can see across the top of the chart there. So in the past year, or compared to a year ago, we're about 4% down this time of year compared to last year. Now, while that's down from last year, you can see that the last 2 years are pretty good years, but while it's down, we're not as down as much this month as we were over the last couple of months, that was up over 5%. So that part's good. And you can see if we go back 4 years ago, we're still almost 6% above where we were 4 years ago. So while it might be declining a little bit, it's still a good market. Now here's another chart for this 5-county area that shows the median price per foot and days on market for this prior 4-year period. So price per foot is a good apples to apples, way to compare home prices. I might point out there's not any one data set or data point that I think is adequate to use or sufficient to really determine what your house or the house you're looking at to buy is worth. It really takes a combination of these. So I think the price per foot is a very good thing to consider, as well as is the gross median price and a lot of additional factors as well. And this is why you need an informed and up-to-date agent that can decipher all of this and apply it to your situation. But anyway, you'll see the purple line on here is the sold price per foot, the one on the top. The black line on the bottom is days on market. And you can see the overall trend during the past 4 years. Again, while you have the seasonality, the ups and downs, the overall trend is definitely upward on that price per foot. And you can see the days on market, the time it's taken to sell homes, has been trending downward somewhat. And although you can see at this point, days on market is higher than it was a year ago. That vertical red line I've got there shows a year ago. So if you look all the way to the right and see where the brown line or black line ends now, you'll see it is higher. So a few more days on market, taking a little longer to sell now than it was a year ago. That may be related to the purple line on top, the prices you see there. And across the top, you'll see the days on market. So median days on market for homes sold in June was 24. A year ago, it was only 10 days, and you can say so forth. So we're actually, for June, the time to sell is the highest we've seen over the past 4 years. Down at the bottom is the price per foot. You can see that has just steadily increased, which you'd expect it to in a normal market. To give you an idea here, that orange line represents that 4-year period on days on market. And you can see we're actually kind of flat from 4 years ago. But then the purple line, you can see prices, a good increase there. Again, in a normal, healthy market, we would expect those prices to increase. And so far, they are increasing at rates that are historically or within I'd say, the range of historic norms. So this is not, I'm not seeing anything like I saw in 05 and 06 where prices just went out of whack at all. Here is a St. Louis market update report. This is an overview for this 5-county area, and what I really like about this is again a proprietary report that we've created. What I like about this is it takes that seasonality out of it. Sometimes when you just look at or hear numbers for 1 month and compared to a year ago, it really doesn't give you an accurate depiction of the market. What this does is look at the most recent 12-month period, so a whole 12-month period, so the seasonality all kind of works out in there, and compare it to the prior 12-month period. And so across the top here, you can see the blue boxes are home sales, and the red boxes are prices. And you can see for the most recent 12-month period compared to the prior 12-month period, sales dropped about 3%, about 3.2%, while prices went up about 4.4%. So a 4.4% increase over that 12-month period from the prior 12-month period for the 5-county core market. That's a very sustainable number. And again, sales dropping a little bit, but nothing drastic. The middle line there shows what's happening price per foot. And we're going to jump down to the bottom line, and it shows the month's supply. And you can see currently we've got about a 1.94 month supply, so a little under 2 months supply of homes on the market. The median time on the market is about 60 days, 2 months. Numbers are still looking very good, definitely favor sellers, but sellers take note. This does not give you a pass to overprice it. The market has been extremely price sensitive, and while the inventories may be low, homes that are overpriced are setting, and sellers are ultimately selling for less than they would have received had they priced it right to start with. So again, important to come out at the right price. Quick overview of by county of the month's supply of homes for sale. If you look over to the right, based on current sales, there isn't a county in this area here that even has a 3-month supply. Now, historically, a 6-month supply would be considered kind of a norm, and it doesn't really favor buyers or sellers. All of these markets, every county favors sellers at this point from that, and makes it a little harder on buyers. You can see St. Louis City is the lowest with a 1.8 month supply, and the highest one on here is Franklin County, and they've only got a 2.8 month supply. Top sellers markets. Now this list is long because if you come to our site and check it out, stlouisrealestatesearch.com, you'll see that this list is rather extensive because what we call a seller's market is anything with less than a 6-month supply. And you can see, in fact, the top 5 cities on here have a 0-month supply, and the next one's half a month or less. So a lot of markets with low inventory. You can see a lot of them on here in North County too, which is interesting. North County has definitely struggled over the years. But when you look at the complete list, if you find your city on there and you've given any thought to selling, you may definitely want to talk with us because it's certainly a great time to sell when you don't have competition. There are a few buyers markets, and in fact, you're looking at every one of them in the St. Louis area. This is, instead of being able to do our top 10 list, we're able to do the top 9 list because that's all there are, and we're calling buyers markets markets with over a 6-month supply. So you can see that list is rather limited. Let's talk about something else really good here before we wrap up. Interest rates. Here's something else you can find on our site on stlouisrealestatesearch.com. You'll find this is a chart that depicts the 30-year fixed rate mortgage, a traditional mortgage that most home buyers get. This information comes from Freddie Mac, and you can see this chart goes back to about 2002. And but let me draw your attention over to the right. You can see the most recent report is for July 11th, and the median interest rate was 3.75%. And to give you a comparison here, back in November, November 8th to be exact, so about 8 months ago, it was 4.94%. Now, I might point out here, these rates shown are a median, or the average, obtained nationally from a Freddie Mac survey. So the St. Louis rates may vary, but the relationship's still the same. I mean, whatever they are, they're still going to be about the same, less than they were in November, just like this. So it's a good depiction, and that may not seem like much from 4.94% to 3.75, but let me do some quick math here for you and show you how that gives you more buying power. Back in November, when the rates were 4.94%, a $250,000 loan would have cost you $1,333 a month on a payment. Today, that same loan at 3.75% would be $1,157. So that's a $175 a month savings. It's pretty significant. To look at it a different way, let's just take that payment from November, that $1,333 payment that would have bought you, or not bought you, but allowed you to borrow $250,000. Today, that same payment will allow you to borrow $287,000. So it gives you $37,000 more buying power. No increase in income, no desire to take on a larger payment, just simply being willing to accept the same payment that you were willing to pay back in November. If you pay that now, it'll get you more buying power. So always good to know those rates are down. Also, more reason to act now. The other reason to act now if you're a buyer is this is July, and this is, if you look at our charts, this is when prices do start slowly, they plateau, and then somewhere between now and the next month or so, they start trending downward a little bit and just start that slow path downward to the bottom in December or January. So you're at a time of year when when the prices are starting to go down a little bit, market slows up a little bit, and rates are down. What more do you want as a buyer? Hey, remember for searching for homes for sale, homes that sold, anything you want to know about real estate, go to St. Louis's best home search site, stlouisrealestatesearch.com, stlouisrealestatesearch.com. Hey, a few of the great things about this site. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, there's an 800 number that will connect you with us right here in St. Louis, and you won't be connected to a call center. You'll talk to local agents right here in St. Louis. And in fact, there's also live chat you can see on the site. You can click on that, and again, you're not going to be taken anywhere else or out of the country to talk to somebody. You'll be talking to somebody. A good chance you'll be talking to me on live chat. I monitor that a lot. Or one of our agents, and you can get good, accurate information instantly. Also, you can find your home's value online in under a minute, or anybody else's home, your neighbor, ex-wife, whatever, ex-husband. Go to stlouishouseprices.com, stlouishouseprices.com, and in under a minute you can find out the home's value. Also, we happen to have St. Louis's favorite open house site. Go to stlouisopenhouses.com, stlouisopenhouses.com, and you can search all the open houses coming up. You can search by city, zip, a variety of things. And something else that we have that's proprietary that we've developed is the open house reports. We have the stlopenhousereport.com. You can go there and get a nice report that'll show you all the open houses, and they're sorted chronologically by the ones that are happening first. Contact us and we can get you a customized one for any area, any zip code, subdivision, type of house you want. If all you want to see are open houses that happen to be mid-century moderns and a certain price range or whatever you want, we can do it for you. And there you go. So remember, we're more realtors. We're here to help you. You can give us a call at 833-383-MORE, which is 833-383-6673, or come see us at stlouisrealestatesearch.com. Thank you, and God bless you.